I'm going to move on to adding and editing families. So I've created I've created some and found some appropriate library items, components, library items, families. They're all one and the same thing at the moment. I've created a couple of items and found lights. We've got a door. This is an oven, a sink, a tap, some downlights as well. All of these items are currently sitting in the student folder, and you probably have brought them all in already. So we've also got some underbench casework or cabinets, and we've got these overhead ones as well. So I think they're all currently living in this project. I'm going to show you how you edit them, position them, and I won't do all of them, but I will start to create a few, and after that I think you'll find it really quite easy to start to edit and use them. These ones up here, both the pendant lights and the down lights, nearly every light when it is created so that it lives in a ceiling, so you won't be able to place it unless a ceiling has been created first. So I will do the lighting in a separate tutorial. I'm going to start with the elevation of this back wall. You can see that we've got a number of underbench cabinets. Now I don't mind whether you make them drawers or cupboards, one door, two door, whatever you want to do. I have nominated that they are 600 wide. And can you see that I've also nominated this 16mm bit of panel that sits either side, because no drawer ever sits completely flush up against the edge of the wall. You need to allow room for handles and a bit of movement and other bits and pieces. Now this hasn't been drawn in, but I'm going to make the overhead cupboards match, so they will be 600 wide as well. While we're at it, we'll have a look at these cupboards. I'm going to use a base pantry component for that, and these are all, let's just have a look, hang on. Okay, 900 wide. There's a 100mm gap at the end here, so 900 wide. This has all been measured up again and worked out before I even started drawing. So in my ground floor or kitchen layout, it doesn't matter which one. Remember, we're going to allow for that 16mm. I'm going to do the underbench first. So if I go to component, I should be able to see a base cabinet, whether it's a 2-door or a 4-drawer. These have all been edited a little bit and probably need some further editing. So I'm just going to go with a one door. Now, depending on who made this and how it was made depends on whether this information is on this front level or whether I edit, type and find that the height and the width are in this second level. Whatever you edit and change in this view, when we edit the type properties, will happen to everything that's called base cabinet 1 door. Whereas everything that you change here will only change to whatever you happen to have selected at the time. So there's a difference that you need to be aware of. So component, base cabinet, I'm going to edit, type and duplicate just so I know that it's the right one. So base cabinet 1 door, 600mm wide. I like to be fairly specific. I'm happy with the depth of 580. That means it sits 20mm back from my 600 wide bench top, and I want the width to be 600 wide. Now I'm going to position the first one on that back wall. It's not quite right, is it? So I'm going to adjust. I've clicked on it and hit 0 using my temporary dimensions, and I'm going to select it again. This time my temporary dimensions do not appear where I want them to, so I can do a couple of things. I could put in a permanent dimension, clicking on the faces. Click on it and tell that to be 0. Or another thing that I do the same thing in AutoCAD, is that I move it into position, so you can see it's sitting smack bang on, and then I click move again and I click and push and type in 16 away. So I just say, right, I know you need to be 16 away from that particular point, and try not to do that. So the next one I'm going to do is a double door, just to get you in the process of choosing and seeing how easy it is. Let's see if we can find a 2-door. And because it's 2 doors, that means that it's a total width of 1200. I'll just edit, type and duplicate that one. Keeping in mind that it can still, even though I've written 1200 wide, because it's been changed on the front properties panel. Alright, try and click and just let it stay there. I'm going to move this so that they sit perfectly next to each other. And I'm going to copy this one along now from endpoint to endpoint. I might throw in a drawer now. Clearly I would be paying a lot more attention to a good kitchen design if this was my own. Now see these little lines here? I have fixed them up in yours, so just ignore them. I'm not quite sure why they're there, but I have edited the library since then. Click on the drawer, edit the type, duplicate. So again, just be wary that it does say 600 every time that you try to create these. Now I'm going to copy that one using so select the object, select copy from my contextual tab, and I will finish with one of these. And you can see I'm just going to flip it, so I need to move it again. I'm going to move this one 16 mil away like the other end. Alright, so we're always, that's the thing I like about Revit, we're always thinking about the construction of, well I am, thinking about the construction. Outlines a few things. Now what it is showing me, sorry, I was in the wrong spot there. Move that from, you can see where I'm going, 16 mil, I clicked on the wrong bit, there's the end of my bench. Now if I look at this, something looks out of whack, and it's possible that you guys haven't picked me up on this as I'm drawing. So I'm going to just double check what's going on. Alright, so see when I'm putting in dimensions, I click, click, click right through to the end. Clicked on the wrong face. Now look at that, apparently 600 and 600 don't make 900. That's meant to be 1200. Alright, perfect. We'll get rid of those. They're all good now. So you can see it's fairly easy to start to copy, paste. You can see if I decided I wanted another drawer here, at this point I could add one of those and just swap them in and out. I can do that quite easily now because they're all exactly 600 mil apart. So creating them and editing the parameters are very simple. Now what we didn't do as we were going through, and I'm going to just show you this so you can go back and add them, is add the materials. Now again, the ones that you've got in your library, I have edited and added a materials parameter for both the skirting and the carcass or the drawer front or the door front. So you're going to click in here, it won't look like that, it'll have that other little bracket that we were looking at before, the little box with the dot in it, and choose your materials for each and every one of these types or instances of the types. So you're going to put the materials in there so they all look terrific. Now I'm just going to finish off by popping over to this one, and I've got a pantry or something like that, pantry one door. Okay, so we should be getting faster now. These are all 2400 high and 900 wide. That doesn't look anything like that, does it? Let's pop it in and see what's going on. Oh, that's better. Now this one here, actually, if we go back and have a look at the image, you can see that it's a built-in cabinet where it's got doors up the top, and a different drawer type here, or a fold-out panel, then the oven, and then something underneath. For the moment, I'm happy for you just to show this as a pantry door, or you could just model it as one big in-place component. And naturally, if this was a kitchen, I would go back and create each and every one of these instances. So I'm going to click on this and flip it and move it back into position. If you happen to hear any odd sounds, I have a son in the background just at the moment. Okay, so that was easy because they're all the same. Now let's see if this one's got any materials. No, they've just got this dodgy finish. I should have changed that type as well. So if we go and have a look in 3D now, you can see our kitchen's coming along very quickly. And in fact, yours should look a lot better because you've added those materials as we go along. Now, if you have a look back at this image, you'll see that that bulkhead actually runs all the way to the wall. So I haven't done that. If I go to maybe level 1, can you see once I've highlighted that, see how quick and easy it is just to click and drag that one. So that should have gone all the way to the wall, and I'm just locking that in. Looking at this now though, it doesn't look quite right. I can see the top of the cabinets and this bulkhead is sitting back flush. I'm going to refer back to my image and realise that the bulkhead shouldn't have been level with the same width as the overhead cupboards. They need to be flush with the face of this cupboard, which is 600 deep, because you can see that comes out flush with the bench. So that's easy fixed. I can go to level 1. No, I won't do that. I'll go to kitchen layout. That's easier. Now see, I could edit in place and then it would go back to pink lines if I was back in my ground floor or level 1. No, neither of those. But what I want to do is if I can click on this one, where was I? Ground floor. You see that I can actually just click or use my align key, which I'm a fan of as well. Click and drag this out. See how it's magnetising to the front face here? And I'll lock that in. So hopefully, yes, finally. Okay. Now the overhead cupboards, the ones I've chosen are wall cupboards, which means that they need to belong to a wall. So you should find them easier to place. The underside of them is 1500. So I'll get you to finish those off separately. The last thing I just wanted to show you was adding a door, and then you can finish those off once you understand those doors. Now if I type in WF, you can see that there's a little bit of more information that shows. So WF stands for wireframe. There's wireframe down here. Or hidden line is how we're going to print. So you can see where it's all physically sitting. So that's what you want to have when you're starting to set that up. Okay, so back here in ground floor where I imported that CAD drawing, I've got a window over here in the pantry. I've got a cavity slider over here. And I've also got a door over there. Now we can worry about that if you want to. If you want to do a 3D with that door open and you can see a little bit more beyond. If not, don't worry about popping that one in. But we do need to put this sliding door in. Now, it's not showing up particularly well, but I'm just going to use my dimension tool to work out the length of it, 2400. So I'm coming up to architecture and window. And let's see if I've got one there. No, it's a door. That's why it's not showing. Architecture and door. Here we go. I've got a Bradnam's door here. And theoretically, we should have the right one. Let's have a look at that one and I will be able to tell. No, not that one. Let's see if that one's a better one. Yeah, okay. Now the window panel width and the height is 2400 high and it's 2400 wide, so not your standard door. So we're just adjusting those. Keep in mind that if this is a Bradnam's window, you shouldn't be needing to edit anything because they actually have a parameter type for, an instance type for every single window that they make. So we shouldn't or wouldn't touch them, but I'm cheating today. Okay, I can change the frame material if I want to match. You can see that it looks like, actually I think that's staying like a brushed aluminium there, but it's hard to tell, maybe it's white. Make that whatever you want. And I'm just going to click on this wall and I'm hovering. Can you see that my cursor's on the outside face because that will orientate it correctly. So these little flip arrows always appear on the outside face. I'm just going to move this to start 650, 640 maybe from the wall. I don't want it to sit hard up against the cabinetry. And we need to double check that over here the sill height sits flush. Now, as for the rest of the components, the oven, the sink, they won't need editing at all. You just may need to position them in different views. The oven might need to be popped in. This 3D view is excellent. It won't let you, it being Revit, won't let you put anything in a camera view. So position them. You may need to go between your elevations and your plans just to get the right position of them.